These Mercury motors are sounding very strong right here. Listen to these guys go. And on the outside, certainly mounting a challenge right now, the Spirit of Miss Liberty. Two boats in excess of 90 miles per hour going side by side. Fantastic action. Dirty Laundry on the inside, Spirit of Miss Liberty on the outside, making a strong challenge right here and overtaking Dirty Laundry by about 2 to 3 boat lengths and starting to extend. Well in excess of 90 miles per hour, as we said. Head-to-head racing, but these boats are in different classes, so it doesn't matter to them in terms of the standings, but in sheer racing ability and getting the adrenaline flowing, they go all out. Everyone takes on all challenges out here today. Gives you some idea. Dirty Laundry is running very well, and Spirit of Miss Liberty is just extending a lead over them right now, so it gives you some idea of what these boats are capable of doing today. Now we're going to come up on your present leader. Still very early stages of the race, but we're going to come up on your leader right now. This is D2, Spirit of Miss Liberty. This sleek red, white, and blue, very patriotic 30-foot Chris Craft is powered by twin 680 horsepower Chevrolet engines with a Kama surface outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Tom Brand from Gulfstream, Florida, and he's got M. McAlston as his navigator and Don Wright on throttles today. The Spirit of Miss Liberty race team, and these guys are certainly filled with spirit today. These Chevy motors are putting out unbelievable amounts of horsepower right now. Sounds very strong. The boat and the motors are all together, and this crew is serious. Spirit of Miss Liberty knows he will be challenged by Danger Zone at some point in this race, but right now he is going all out, well over 95 miles per hour right here. Boat looks great right now. This is a good bit of offshore racing. Listen to the throttle man work it right now. Don Wright certainly earning his keep today. The Spirit of Miss Liberty race team. Right now, one of the most familiar boats all year. D1, the 38 Blue Cigarette, known as Danger Zone. What more can we say? This boat has been invincible. Look at that helicopter going by. The boat's doing 90 to 95, and that copter just whizzed by at over 100 miles per hour. Talk about speed. Unbelievable. But back to Danger Zone, our present star on the screen. As I was saying earlier, it's just a sheer picture of invincibility for 1987. They've owned it. Carlos Capilla, your owner and also on throttles. Jamie Acosta, the driver, and John Bishop, your navigator. These three men, along with this boat, have just been sheer superstars on Oprah for 1987. If they win today, there will be 12 for 12, which is certainly some record. I'm not sure if the Oprah has been keeping track of these finishes, but I must say this is certainly an unofficial record in my book, and if there was a Hall of Fame museum for offshore powerboat racing, Danger Zone would certainly have to be considered for what they've done for 1987. They already have it locked up as the World Championship on the Teltec campaign. That's the Teltec Oprah circuit. They've locked it up in class with just strong running. They've taken a checkered flag in every race that they've entered. They've done well. It's all over. The Bahama Offshore Grand Prix, Sundays on the Bay, Holiday Isle. They've just owned the campaign. In '86, they were last year's Teltec champion and world champion. What more can we really say? You just watch them do their thing, and their record certainly proves itself. It's going to be very interesting after a year like they've had in '87 to see what the Danger Zone race team is going to come back with in '88. The whole racing community and fans, as well as myself at Freeze Frame, is certainly eagerly waiting the new Danger Zone for '88. One thing could be for certain, with the success that they've had with these twin 650 horsepower offshore engines with Mercury outdrives, they would seriously have to consider them once again for the '88 campaign. The boat, the crew, and these motors have just performed admirably. They've basically been a phenomenon all year. Sheer consistency, and it's a great picture of a true champion. This crew, led by Jamie Acosta, your driver, Carlos Capilla, on throttles, and John Bishop, your navigator, and especially Acosta, who's done some great driving all year. The Danger Zone race team is a true champion, and we wish them all the best. But right now, they're going to close out the '87 campaign here at Holiday Isle, the Islamorada Budweiser 100, and we're just going to watch with the rest of you as Danger Zone closes out '87 and certainly looks forward to the championships and the coming '88 campaign. The Danger Zone race team. P13, more monkey business. This sleek 30-foot Chris craft is powered by three 265 horsepower Mercury engine outboards. If this hull looks familiar to you, it should. It's the old Captain America boat, and now it's come back under a new name with a new team, more monkey business. This team is headed up by Philip Feldman, who's your driver from Golden Beach, Florida. He's got Brian Sheridan as his navigator and Jeff Soffer on throttles today. The More Monkey Business race team looks very strong right now. They'll be dueling out with Dirty Laundry, who you saw open up an early lead. But now things have certainly started to settle down. Dirty Laundry and Monkey Business going head to head. And other classes have gotten off. Danger Zone, Spirit of Miss Liberty dueling it out, which is good to see. Breakaway, Crime Buster. Look at the vibration there on those 3 Merc outboards. The Mercury 2.4 outboard engines. Great shot right there. Those motors taking a pounding, as you can see, but just working very hard, maintaining those RPMs and really churning out a great deal of power right now. The business end of this boat. As you can certainly hear and now see, the boat looks very strong. We certainly wish them a lot of luck in today's race. That's P13, the More Monkey Business Race Team. Here you see a close-up picture. Don Wright really working those throttles. He notices us, and we certainly noticed him. He definitely felt our presence. The eye in the sky overlooking the Spirit of Miss Liberty race team. Tucked in very nicely in the cockpit. Brandt, McAlston, and Wright. The Spirit of Miss Liberty race team. Now we come up on another big boat. D17, the Red Cloud race team. This red 41-foot Apache is powered by 2 airspeed engines with Speedmaster drives. This boat is owned and driven by Sal Sassoon from Miami, Florida, and he's got Mendy Fernandez on throttles today. Red Cloud race team. This Apache is a big boat. He certainly prefers some of the bigger chop, but he's got the power to move this 41-foot hull along. The Apaches really have a good reputation for getting through some of this rough chop. Cats you saw earlier were really whizzing by. The Red Cloud looks very strong also, nice and steady here. Airspeed engines, you've got a close-up of them right there, and they're certainly producing a lot of horsepower right here. These motors are screaming. That's the airspeed engines of the Red Cloud race team. You saw Danger Zone earlier in Spirit of Miss Liberty, but now you have Red Cloud. Red Cloud unofficially in 3rd place, chasing Danger Zone, who you saw earlier on. A good steady run will certainly help out Red Cloud here today. We wish them all the best as their run continues at Isle Morada here. So we're going to continue with a close-up view of the D17 Red Cloud race team. Okay, now we've got the exciting divisional start. We're with Philadamo bringing you the coverage in Helicopter 2 with freeze-frame video, the dual camera shoot. We bring it all to you in offshore powerboat racing. You've seen some of the big boats, now we come up on some of the smaller boats, but equally as exciting. These divisional guys go all out and it's a pleasure to watch. Very tough competition and these guys take a pounding out here. It's great, these smaller boats. What exciting racing they provide for all the fans with Oprah. You've got Wild Coyote, Fish Peddler, B50, Double Vision, Fish Peddler, Miss Liberty, all of Miss Liberty you saw earlier, but right now some of these boats, ST Enterprises you saw earlier, Coyote, B50, Team Gulfwind, East Coast Rider, they're all out here today. We've got the green flag and we have racing. That's Wild Coyote taking a quick lead, followed by Fish Peddler and B50. Your three boats in running 1, 2, 3. That's Peddler, Coyote, and B50. Beautiful day, crystal clear water. There's just something about the Florida air and water that makes it very exciting for everyone. It seems it was made for offshore powerboat racing. Water certainly not as crystal clear as it is in the Northeast where we're located. Wild Coyote holding off a challenge by Fish Peddler and B50. That's Coyote in first, followed by Fish Peddler in second, and B50 in third. Other boats you saw earlier are still running strong, but right now it's the divisional boats who are the stars. Well over 75 to 80 miles per hour here. These boats can certainly go. There you see them rounding the first checkpoint, heading towards checkpoint number 2. You see the race course in front of them, and they're moving. Coyote's starting to stretch out his lead slightly over Fish Peddler and B50. Now we're going to come up on your early leader. That's C58, Wild E Coyote. This is a 30-foot Coyote with twin 500 horsepower airspeed engines with Speedmaster drives. This boat is owned and navigated by Luis Bulnes. On throttles, he's got Augusto Fernandez and Sal Sassoon as your driver. Everyone hailing from Miami, Florida. This boat sounds great. Wild E Coyote having a very fast start, and he's definitely trying to hold off his competition of all the other boats who took a quick lead with him. Fish Peddler to name one, and B50. But right now, Wild E Coyote has a slight edge. Sassoon doing a good bit of driving with Fernandez on throttles, letting it all hang out today. This is the last race, and the Wild E Coyote race team would love to have a good run today. Philadamo providing that nice aerial shot from the starboard side as opposed to the port side. Interesting view, different side of the racetrack. C58, the Wild E Coyote race team from Islamorada, Florida. We wish them all the best in today's race. On the outside, that's Fish Peddler with B50 on the inside of the screen and Double Vision in the middle of the pack coming up. B50 on the inside, Double Vision in the middle, and Fish Peddler on the outside. And Wild E Coyote, who we saw a bit earlier on, you see their trail wake there, is holding off the strong challenge from everyone else. But look at Double Vision make a move. He's really making a move on this boat. This is a 28-foot Sanger Alley Cat with twin 300 horsepower OMC outboards, owned and driven by Robert Catanzaro and Rick Conti, your throttle man. Look at Double Vision on the outside. Passenger second and third place boat challenging Wild E Coyote and taking Wild E Coyote on a very strong and aggressive pass on the outside. The Fish Peddler race team, the Double Vision race team, excuse me. Well in excess of 75 miles per hour here, and on the outside, that's the Fish Peddler. B50 is on the inside. You can't see them slightly out of the screen, but he is nonetheless there. Wild E Coyote coming back and holding off the challenge from Double Vision. Listen to those throttles work right there. Great aerial shot. Blue boat meshing in very nicely with that blue water. Almost a camouflage job. But the Wild E Coyote is not camouflaged now. He's coming out and taking on all comers. Good bit of racing right here. The Wild E Coyote race team. Zero's Double Vision unofficially in second, and the Fish Peddler in third on the outside, but basically they're neck and neck. It's hard to say who's second and third. It's great when you get some of these boats running neck and neck and staying within the same group. Makes for much more excitement. Over many miles the boats tend to get spread out, but here you've got a lead pack of 4 boats. We certainly hope they stay together till the finish. That would certainly be exciting here. Now we're rounding our second checkpoint. Double Vision on the inside, Coyote, Double Vision on the inside of your screen, and basically tied for second with Fish Peddler on the outside, making the turn, and Wild E Coyote in the middle. The Fish Peddler with the inside alley takes a lead. Good bit of driving and navigation right there on the part of the Fish Peddler race team. Great move. Look at the lead they've taken over Wild E Coyote, who seems to be slowing in the middle. And that's B50, C50, excuse me. C50, the Bahama Express. We're running right with them at their level. C50 on the outside, Fish Peddler on the inside. That C50 is known as Bahama Express. It is a 39-foot black Velocity with 300 horsepower Evinrude outboards. That's a lot of power package right there. This boat is owned and driven by Sam Curry from Marsh Harbor, Bahamas, and he's got Richard Perry on throttles and Sam Curry III doing the navigation. All the Currys here are doing a great job. Sam and Richard, the Currys from Marsh Harbor, Bahamas, in the boat known as Bahama Express. He's right in the hunt for things with Fish Peddler, who's on the outside of them, Double Vision in the lead. He's chasing Fish Peddler slightly ahead. Double Vision is there, and Wild E Coyote also. Very strong run right here. This Velocity and Evinrudes are doing a good combination today. Look very strong. The Bahama Express will definitely be in contention all day with Fish Peddler and Double Vision. Very exciting. We're doing in excess of 75 miles per hour and looking very strong. From Islamorada, Florida, it's the Bahama Express race team. You see Fish Peddler at the very top of your screen. C50 coming closer and closer, narrowing that gap. And here's the boat who is continuing to hold off C50. The boat known as C4, the Fish Peddler. This is a 30-foot Shadow Cat powered by twin 250 horsepower Mercury engine outboards. This boat is owned and throttled by Craig Maudsley from Miami, Florida, and John Gordon is his driver today. This boat, Fish Peddler, has had a very fine campaign on Oprah. He needs a good run today to hold off the challenge of Loran Bandit, who is unofficially running in second place right now. So Fish Peddler, if he has a good run today, can finish in the money, can certainly hold off and be your high points champion for the year. Maudsley knows this. He doesn't need to take a first, just needs to have a good finish and a consistent run, and that's what he's going to do today. He's got a lot of experience, and he knows just what it takes to bring home the checkered flags and championships to the Maudsley household. That's Craig Maudsley, the Fish Peddler in C4, having a very good run today here at Islamorada. The C4 race team of Fish Peddler. Maudsley doing a fine job working those throttles. There's a close-up view of the real brain trust of the Fish Peddler race team. Gauges set, driver doing his thing, and Maudsley on throttles, really working hard. The Fish Peddler, presently running #1 in class. On the outside, I believe that's Talon Special. Not quite sure where they are on the race course right now. But Fish Peddler is screaming around the course. In other classes, unofficially, Dirty Laundry and more monkey business going at it. Dalia's Breakaway and Crime Buster head-to-head. I believe Trans Tech and East Coast Rider are doing very well neck-and-neck in Sportsman A. Right here, we're on top of the Sportsman B with Bahama Express, Fish Peddler, and Double Vision, all in the thick of things. And in the big D class, Danger Zone is still holding off Spirit of Miss Liberty. We're about the midpoint of the race, so it's still very too early to call. Anything can happen out here. Upsets happen every week, and some of the other boats just keep on running very strong consistently. Will Danger Zone get the 12 out of 12? We'll have to wait and see. But we're staying with Fish Peddler, who looks very good. The Fish Peddler race team. There you see on the outside, that's C50, the Bahama Express, making a strong challenge on the outside of Fish Peddler. Sam Curry's really got his boat going right now. This is a brand new boat in their first race, and they should be very pleased with the performance here today that they're showing. As they round the checkpoint, that Bahama Express on the inside, Fish Peddler on the outside. He's past them, and that's a good bit of racing right there by the Bahama Express race team to overtake Maudsley in the Fish Peddler. M111, the Callao Hueso Express. This is a 30-foot image powered by twin Chevrolet inboard engines, 550 horsepower apiece, with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned and driven by Mike Horn from Key West, Florida. He's got Rich Keelan on throttles and Beth Carrier, his navigator. Beth, you've also been familiar with seeing her run in the Smooth Operator race team. But right now it's Callao Hueso Express, the 30-foot image headed up by Mike Horn. Boat sounds very strong. He's working hard against Dirty Laundry, the Agitator, more monkey business, all them in there. Unofficially, Dirty Laundry and Danger Zone are leading this race. We'll have to wait for further updates, but they're looking very strong as they were earlier. But right here, another boat looking strong. The Callao Hueso Express is looking very tough right now. Well over 75 miles per hour. Great attitude, looks very steady and confident in the water. The M111 boat, known as Callao Hueso Express, from Islamorada, Florida, doing a great job here in the Islamorada Budweiser 100. Callao Hueso Express. Here we are back to a boat we've seen earlier on, Spirit of Miss Liberty. Presently running second and chasing Danger Zone. See, the seas are getting a little rougher, 2 to 3 foot chop right here, but no problem for these boats. A lot of throttling right there, as you can hear. Getting a little loose there, but no problem. Boat maintaining a great speed, over 80 miles per hour and charging hard. Working hard to really mount a good challenge toward the end against Danger Zone. Big rooster tail being kicked out by this boat. Those Chevy engines are really putting out horsepower here. Big jumps, light stuff up front. That certainly rattles your cage a bit and gets you right back into the thick of things. Shake your head and you get back going, which they're doing right now, getting back up to big cruising speed. The Spirit of Miss Liberty race team. We wish all the best to Tom Brandt, M. McCaslin, and Don Wright of the Spirit of Miss Liberty race team as they close out 87, and we certainly look forward to seeing them in 88. There's a great shot from the rear of your unofficial leader right now in class. That's John D'Elia's breakaway race team. This is a 24-foot blue and white skater powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboards. Look at that right there. Coming right out, hitting the back, hitting the front. No need to worry though, these guys can take it, and they've certainly taken their poundings over the years. This boat is owned by Delia Honda from Greenwich, Connecticut, and it has been throttled for many years by J.D. Delia, and he's had Brad Cox driving with him. This breakaway race team has been together for many years from Greenwich, Connecticut, and once again a proven race team. They've had a great deal of success for many years out here. A good finish today, they can hold on and take first place in class and be the champions for the Oprah Divisionals in '87 this year. Look at them go right here. Smaller boat taking a pounding. Over 65 to 70 miles per hour right now. It's a little choppy, as you can see, and they're certainly paying for it. But with the experience of Delia and Brad Cox doing the driving, they're presently running in first place and having a great run. That's the breakaway race team from Greenwich, Connecticut. Good run by Delia and Cox and breakaway race team. Strong competitors. Right here, someone we've been watching earlier, C50, the Bahama Express of Sam Curry. Boat just looks super right there. Doing a fine job of working those throttles. And we believe on the outside he's chasing Fish Peddler. About a 100 to 200 yard advantage right now between these two boats. And C50 is closing the gap. There you see those three V8 300 horsepower Evinrude. Doing a phenomenal job here today. Closing the gap. Making a strong charge. Bahama Express is really on the express track right now and challenging Maudsley of the Fish Peddler race team on the outside. Almost door to door and coming up on him. Believe me, the adrenaline is pumping in both of these crews right now. Going at it side by side. We're on S3, main attraction. This is a 25-foot Talon powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboard engines. This boat is owned and throttled by Paul Kesserling from Sarasota, Florida, and Joe Sorrentino is the driver for today's race and main attraction. Basically in their class today, they'll be dueling with Delia in Breakaway, who you saw earlier on, and Crime Buster, and main attraction right there. This 25-foot Talon catamaran, very well-designed boat, looking very crisp right here. At times getting a little loose. It looks very similar to the way Breakaway was running. These hulls are a little smaller than some of the ones you saw earlier on, but their speeds nonetheless do get up there. Boats, no problem, can run over 75 miles per hour. We're in excess of 70 right here, and looking and sounding very, very strong. Kesserling and Sorrentino are really letting it go today. This is the last race. What do they have to lose? They'd like to go all out and try to bring home that checkered flag and overtake Delia's Breakaway race team. So right now we're going to stay with S3, the boat piloted by Kesserling and Sorrentino, the main attraction race team. Main attraction looking very good. And they're getting ready to round one of the checkpoints. There you see them rounding the checkpoint, and they are the main attraction of that boat right here. The race team known as Main Attraction having a very strong run here today in Isle Morada. Good bit of throttling going on there, as you can hear. The throttler, certainly one of the more valuable men of this race crew or any crew. The black boat, Panama Jack S12. This red and black 24-foot skater is powered by twin 200 horsepower Mercury outboard engines. This boat is owned and driven by Byron Hill from Fort Myers, Florida, and he's got Terry Hill on throttles along for the ride. The Panama Jack race team. There you see them rounding the checkpoint. That's Main Attraction, who you saw earlier in front of Panama Jack, running very strong. Panama Jack had a fairly good campaign. He dueled all year with Talon Special and Breakaway, but with a finish here today, he can be in the top 3 finishers. He'd love to have a good run. The Panama Jack race team, we certainly wish them all the best today as he makes a charge for the finish. The Panama Jack race team. Byron and Terry Hill of Panama Jack have just had a fine run. Boat at times gets loose, but like I said earlier, the smaller hulls tend to get that way at the speeds that these boats are moving. Panama Jack, a great run by them. Now we come up with another strong competitor out here. It's A44, the Team Gulfwind. His 22-foot velocity is powered by a single 300 horsepower Mercury inboard. This boat is owned and driven by Steve Kildall from Sarasota, Florida, and he's got Richard Middleton as his navigator today. The Team Gulfwind race team. Well over 70 miles per hour right now and sounding very, very strong. They're dueling it out with George Peterson's East Coast Rider and the Trans-Tech Special in Sportsman A. That Throttleman's really doing his job. And he's doing it so well that at the present time, Team Gulfwind is unofficially first place in class. Trying real hard to hold off East Coast Rider, the boat owned by George Peterson. Which soon will be coming to the close, so these guys are really letting it crank out right now. There's no tomorrow, no turning back. They're all gonna go all out right now. So Team Gulfwind having a great run and doing very well in class as well as the division. Here you see them coming up on checkpoint, the navigator getting his coordinates set. And they're just going to make their move around the turn and continue to charge. Team Gulfwind. Team Gulfwind, strong run today for them. Here we come up on a P boat. That's P40, the 30-foot Shadow Cat known as Agitator. This boat is powered by three 260 horsepower Mercury outboard engines. This boat is owned and driven by Alan Dunteman, and Kirk Dunteman is on throttles. Everyone hailing from Oak Brook, Illinois. The Agitator race team. They'll be in competition. They've been in competition all day with Dirty Laundry and More Monkey Business, who we've seen earlier on. Agitator had a very good year also. Unofficially, he's in, well, right now, after all the races, in the divisional overall for the year with Oprah. He's in first place in Pro Stock, so a good finish here will ensure the Agitator of a first place finish overall in the high points on Oprah Gold Coast Cup Quest. So we'll just have to wait and see how the race finally ends up. But if Agitator has a good run here today, he will be the divisional champion. The Duntonmans have been great and consistent all year, and they're proving it today, doing what they have to do. Although they seem to be going a little slower than they normally do on some of the races we've broadcast earlier on, perhaps this is just some strategy. They know where they must finish, so why go out and kill anything? A good finish here will make them the champion. A very similar situation as we saw earlier on with Craig Maudsley and the Fish Peddler race team. Seasoned veterans, they know what to do. P40, the Agitator race team. Something that should have been mentioned at the start, but unfortunately neglected, but I'm sure most of you have figured it out by now. The P and the M boats had to run together because there wasn't enough to fill the class. So P and M is running together today in one unified class. And we're back up on Loran Bandit. Tampa Bay Marine, as you see on the stern of that boat, and the Merc Cruiser's doing a job today. John Provenzano doing a fine job on throttles as he's done all year. As you look at the stern of that boat, you can certainly see something is not quite right. The port motor is not putting out as much water as the starboard motor. That could be the signs of the beginning of an overheating motor or some form of other mechanical breakdown. Might be having a problem with oil pressure. We'll have to wait and see, but that port motor does not seem to be putting out what the starboard motor is. We'll have to wait and see. And obviously it has become a problem because Loren Bandit is slowing down and could be calling it a day. Coming off plane, and right now the engine covers up and looking at that port motor. An unfortunate break for Loren Bandit. But here we have someone who is running and running very hard. D11, the connection. This 30-foot black shadow is powered by twin 400 horsepower United Racing engines with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Benny Gonzalez from Miami, Florida, and he's got Humberto Gonzalez on throttles. The Gonzalezes in the boat known as the Connection, looking very good right here. They've got tough competition though in that D-Class with Danger Zone and Spirit of Miss Liberty, who you saw earlier. But nonetheless, the Gonzalezes are charging hard. They've got a lot of spirit and a lot of good sportsmanship, and they certainly got the power with those 400 horsepower United Racing engines. The Gonzalezes in boat D11, the Connection from Isle Morada. Oh, look at that. That could be it serious. That's something you don't like to see. That looked like a piece of the bottom flying off the hull of the Connection. And hovering above them, that's Philadama with Al, his pilot, and camera 2. And Jeff in camera 1 with Vic and Dave flying for camera 1 is on the other side. One on the starboard, one on the port. Really highlighting the Connection right now. Certainly hope that piece of the hull that fell off or the bottom will not be a problem. They seem to have slowed a tiny bit, but I can certainly understand the caution. They'd love to finish. Close-up of Philadamo and Al over there in the freeze frame helicopter number 1. Being filmed by Jeffrey in helicopter number 2. The freeze frame video staff up in the air, bringing it to you live and up front with action. Howard and Jeffrey on the other side. Vic and Dave doing his flying. Coming from the starboard and coming from the port, it looks super. There you see up front there the piece of the deck that came off. Right there, you see it below the Anon connection and under their number D11. But they still seem to be maintaining a good run. The Gonzaleses in the boat known as the Connection. Now we come up on an A-boat. That's Trans-Tech Special A24. It's a 22-foot white Apache powered by a single 200 horsepower Johnson outboard engine. This boat is owned and driven by Ted Jones from Oakland Park, Florida, and he's got Ted Turner as his navigator today. The Trans-Tech Special looking very good right here. Right now, they're leading the pack. They're holding off Team Gulfwind and Peterson's East Coast Rider. A24, the Trans-Tech Special, running in at speeds over 60 to 65 miles per hour right now, which for these small boats in these seas is very good racing. Bear in mind, they only have a single outboard on this 24-foot boat, and they look super. The 22 Apache, known as Trans-Tech Special. We wish them all the luck as we start bringing it home, and they head for the checkered flag in the closing stages of today's race, the Trans-Tech Special. And right there at the top of your picture, that's Alligator Light. And earlier today, Vic and Dave, oh, look at that right there, big jump. But as I was saying, on Alligator Light, freeze frame has John Burrell and Paul Petulia shooting stills. They were dropped earlier by Vic and Dave on that. That is some move when you look at it. One pontoon was on and one was off, and they were able to get on the tower to take some exciting stills for freeze frame. As we round the checkpoint around Alligator Light, the Connection right there, and Lone Star Express is a little ahead in the picture. That's a Trans-Tech Special there who we saw earlier. Very good run by them today. In other classes, Danger Zone and Spirit of America still dueling it out. Bahamas Express, who you saw earlier, holding off the Fish Peddler. Good jump, good throttle. Good shot right there in the back of that boat. crystal clear with that camera work. Everything in sync today, the boats, the weather, and freeze frame video, bringing it to you live. Get a good idea of those trim tabs, getting that boat out of the water. From the white boat to the yellow boat, that's C6, the Lone Star Express. This is a 31X caliber, powered by three 220 horsepower Mercury outboard engines. This boat is owned and throttled by Dan H. Rocco of Houston, Texas, and driving for them today is Daniel Rocco. The Roccos in the Lone Star Express, coming up from the Lone Star state of Texas. The Excalibur hull, it's been around for many years, a proven race hull, and of course Mercury Engine's doing a great job for so many years in the high performance end of offshore racing. The Rocco is relatively new on the campaign trail out here in Oprah, but it's certainly great to see them come all the way from Texas to race. They look very good. They've got a lot of heart and good sportsmanlike qualities. We wish them a lot of luck for 87 and as they go into 88. The Roccos from Houston, Texas in Lone Star Express. Starting to crank it together right now and make a move on Team Gulfwind, who is up in front on your screen in the middle of the picture. Some hard running right here by the Roccos. Now we're on A61, the 21-foot superboat owned by George Peterson from Lindenhurst, New York. This boat is known as East Coast Rider. Oh, and he is doing some riding right now. Oh, look at that one. This is what that A division is all about. These smaller boats take a pounding, but Peterson has been doing it for many years, and right now he is one of the best. And he is now currently your 1987 national champion. Tremendous bit of work by Peterson from Lindenhurst, New York. This 21-foot superboat is powered by a single 200 horsepower Mercury engine outboard, and it is rigged and maintained at East Coast Marine in New York. Along for the ride today is Richard Clark, who's the navigator for Peterson's East Coast Rider. So with a national championship in class under his belt, Peterson is looking to have a good run today, and he's right there. He's dueling it out with Transtech Special, and George is unofficially in second, and he is trying to hold off Gulfwind in third place. We're coming near to the finish, so they're going all out. Who's it going to be in this class? Transtech Special or East Coast Rider? Moments away, we will find out. Other classes have already finished today's race, and we'll be waiting to give you some updated results of the final finishes for today, as well as the Oprah campaign for 87. Boy, look at this guy go. Peterson's going all out. Good bit of throttling, no holds barred right now. This boat is doing everything it can to really move. He's coming out of the water, pushing it very hard. Really pushing that envelope. And on the outside up front, Transtech Special is in Peterson's sights. He's giving it all it's got. That's Team Gulfwind, Transtech a little earlier. There's Transtech Special. So right now you have Team Gulfwind in first, Transtech Special on the outside, and Peterson's East Coast Rider neck and neck. Team Gulfwind in the middle of your picture being passed by Transtech Special on the outside, and he's dueling door to door with George Peterson. After 60 some odd miles of offshore racing, you've got two boats coming down to the wire, in which could be a photo finish. Although Gulfwind was in your picture, they were down a lap. Oh, Peterson's really moving it hard. Look at him go and make that course correction, bouncing around like crazy. What more can you say, or what more could you hope for as a race fan? They're coming down to the wire, and they're neck and neck. It's going to be a drag race. Who's it going to be, Transtech Special or East Coast Rider? They're going for the finish now, and it's throttles all the way down and pushing to the max. Peterson edging out slightly. But Transtech not one to give too much ground. Peterson really running hard. However, Transtech Special is hanging tough, and he's right there with Peterson. They're going for the flag now. Peterson displaying his championship form at Isle Murata. Look at him drag that boat. He's really working hard. The engine cover seemed to have come loose on that one jump. Pushing this superboat with everything it's got. Peterson still holding off the hard-charging Transtech Special. There's the distance, 30 to 40 yards, maybe 50 yards differential between these two boats. Can Peterson hold him off? He's really got that boat trimmed in, pushing it very, very hard. I'm sure we'll hold together. That superboat and Merc motor have been together for many years, and George just knows what it can do. And there must have been the move. High up in the sky we saw Teltec overtake Peterson. With the finish line well in sight, hundreds of yards left. A tough break for George Peterson, an East Coast rider, but a tremendous victory for Teltec Special. There you see him crossing the start-finish line. No more than 50 yards separating these two boats after 70 some odd miles.